Welcome, Virgo. I hope you're all doing great today. I'm down here at the midnight sun and I'm in between clients. So I wanted to jump on to do a reading for you. I want to look at the spiritual energies first, the karmic themes, the spiritual triggers, and see what needs to be healed. And we want to always look and see what your person feels about you, what they are going to do because of how they feel about you, right? But understanding the spiritual energy allows us to actually dive deep into the reading. It allows us to understand the situation from a broader perspective. A lot of times when we have our own, healing, because someone comes into our life and they trigger us, and we didn't might have not even known that we needed healing at that time. So it's first of all, it's we kind of catch ourselves off guard and we're startled and that we're coming more from an emotional standpoint. So understanding the spiritual energies allows us to look at things again from a broader perspective, not just from the emotional, but the mental, and the true psychological reason why. And the reason why is because how well a relationship is going to go determines that energy. Like, and if you're someone that continues to date the same type of people, keep reliving the same types of karmic situations, this is why we would want to heal that. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right on in. Now, know that energy is fluid, rules could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Never force anything. And if you're new to the channel, by the way, anything of any relevance to me, the channel, whatever, you'll find in the description box. That means like all other YouTube channel links. So if you're another zodiac aside from a Virgo, you definitely want to check out the links down below. You'll also find my website link. You'll find just a lot of other important things, I think. And always, of course, directions on how to win into entering into winning a free psychic reading with me, which is you got to like the video, you got to subscribe to the channel, and then you got to write whatever word that I pull from this deck in your comment bar. You'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath. If I did, then you and I would correspond back and forth. Now, if you're someone that struggles from spiritual issues, meaning like you have a hard time creating financial stability in your life, maybe you have trouble in your relationships where you keep reliving the same type of karmic themes, you definitely want to then check out my Psychic Soul Healer page. There, I offer a lot of different subscriptions. I'm pretty sure even on this channel, I offer a coaching program for $7.99 a month. You can learn how to heal the shadow aspects of yourself. You can learn how to heal the effects of trauma. The effects of trauma come out within our behaviorisms, which is why in the beginning of each reading, I always look at the spiritual energies, because again, our spiritual energy is what depicts the karmic theme. So, and it also will tell us how we should deal with the situation so that we can feel balanced after. A lot of times when we don't feel good, right, we're up in our mind. It creates a lot of anxiety. We may be stuck in the past. It's again, we want to end every situation as balanced as we can. So I want to look at the energy out. Dark night of the soul. Woo. So if you don't know what the dark night of the soul is, the dark night of the soul happens after an awakening a lot of times. And the awakening is that you or the person that you're connected to have had some realizations about self. And I'm kind of feeling like you both are going through this energy a little bit, Virgo. However, I believe that you're functioning like you're dealing with it a lot better than the person that you're connected to. But a dark night of the soul comes when we are awakened to the fact that we were living out of alignment with our true self, the higher self, the God part of self. The God part of self is the part of self that is that supernatural part of self that makes things happen. But if we're bogged down with spiritual blocks, then our character is going to show that. Well, it's also our behaviorisms are going to actually also show that. And we get your karma is based on like your behaviorisms, your habits, where you're putting your energy, what you're doing. And if you're coming from a low vibration, then you're not going to be coming from a place of caring about other people. You're becoming from a place of ego, a place of self. So I believe the person that you're connected to was only caring about themselves, and now they're in a place of the dark night of the soul. And I kind of put you a little bit in the dark night of the soul, but I think it was mainly choices that you made with this person. Again, being connected to this person, and this person doesn't give you anything. So that's part of what contributed to it. And I believe on some level you didn't put up with it. But I also believe that they're in the dark night of the soul for a few reasons, not just you might be the cherry on the ice cream. Like I'm the afterthought. And empathy. So I would take that as there is this very strong spiritual connection, right? Empathy, sensitivity. The ESP is through the heart and mind, and empaths have that energy. Well, there's also a sense of you having empathy for this person because of everything that they've done, knowing that they're in a bad space. But I don't believe that they deserve it. Like I'm feeling like they came from like a low, like not like a bad character. Bad character is someone that only cares about themselves, is coming from very selfish way, and then they act like the victim. So like your empathy, that's why I said your empathy is not really deserved, I feel like, because this person is not really fixing it. They're stuck in the why me, which is a part of the dark night of the soul, right? The first part, it's a little bit of a shock. There's that tower moment where everything comes crumbling down. That's how we have the awareness. Usually we don't have the awareness unless something dramatic happens, and it's almost like the rug being ripped out from underneath your feet. Well, this is what I'm feeling, and though your person was not the greatest to you, you feel bad, though they're a little bit in victim mode. And that's because, again, this higher self, the higher self is the genius part of self, creative genius. Creative genius is, again, someone that's a very free spirit, someone that lives more from the spirit part of self, which is actually that empathetic part of self, the intuitive part of self. And that is the connection that I believe that you and this person have. There is an ESP connection. However, this person wasn't really giving to you. I believe that you didn't allow them to hurt you. But I believe that you also saw the type of person that they were. And I believe that they kind of use people normally. They only care about themselves, like you said. And I understand most people, they have to awaken to the fact of how they've been living out of alignment eventually in their life. And that doesn't happen unless we go through a dark night of the soul, okay? And then cruel. So this is what I was saying, that they're the way that they were handling people and situations, just the way that they treat people. They had very big ego. Everything had to be their way. So this is the underlining energy of the situation. We're going to look at the hidden truths now, because the hidden truths are going to allow us to see what they really feel, because they didn't really give that much. They were a little bit of a player. There was a spiritual connection. You never fell for that. If the person didn't give anything to you, you didn't just allow it. This is what this shows right now. So, like I said, that's why they're still actually thinking about you. Believe it or not, the people that they took advantage of, they're not even thinking about. That's how I know. So that's the ego. So let's look at the hidden truths. I replay our conversations over and over again. I wish things could be different. So there again, what I said, victim, pity mode. I wish things could be different. I'm stuck in the past. I want to feel that way again. So what they're saying is I'm feeling like they're almost like putting you on a pedestal. They went from one extreme to another. They didn't really give enough time. They didn't give enough energy. They were breadcrumbing everyone, not really caring. I mean, and that's just in their relationships, okay? So they were only coming from their very selfish point of view. That's how we wind up in the dark night of the soul, by the way. We wind up in the dark night of the soul not because one thing in our life goes wrong. It's because whatever goes wrong, it's the foundation of who we perceive we were. Dark night of the soul is the death of an ego, which your person needed to go through because they were just freaking cruel. Didn't know what they had until it's gone. But there still doesn't mean that they're healed. Remember that. Just because there's an awareness, we need to let each other go. Now that's a little bit of a contradiction energy, so that's normal too when we go through a dark night of soul. We have a lot of different feelings. We want to blame it on people, right? In the beginning, especially if you're not going to act the way that they expected you to act. That's number one. Number two, it's not comfortable to look at ourselves. And it's also not comfortable to change, because what are we changing into? It's again the ego. It was created for survival. Was created because at one point your person didn't like who they were. So they created that part of themselves. So that would be a problem, trying to get to know someone and they're never coming from a true sense of self. They're always coming from a mask. So of course they would be cruel. They're protecting their heart. Okay, I buried myself and worked to forget you. Again, that's what I'm saying. There's a sense of that they're still trying to control it. They want to let it go. I'm going to let it go, but I can't stop thinking about you. Yeah, because you can't control love. It's again, why it's the universal panacea. It's the magic pill. It's a magic pill because it makes us do shit that we don't want to do. It makes us look at what we did, and unless they had a connection to you, they wouldn't look at their behavior because they were looking at thinking that everything was fine. However, I believe that it was also other things that went on in their life, but they actually cared about you. And now it's almost like, well, it'd be easier to let you go because I don't want to really surrender my ego to come back and apologize and humble myself. So that's part of it too. So I feel you leaving me behind. And that happens again if the person's not doing anything about it. There's a sense that they want you to come towards them. So they're almost like feeling like they're not good enough. So they don't really put the effort out. And because they don't put the effort out, they feel like you're leaving them behind. We will be together again. So see a lot of contradiction energy of that. So there is a sense of, even though they do all this, there's still a sense of unconditional love. There's still a sense of a connection. See, I believe that they were coming from their ego, wanting to control it, wanting to manipulate love, where they couldn't do that. But the whole point of this is that they needed to have that ego come down. That facade needed to come down because that facade was actually keeping a wall up and a wall between their heart, not letting anyone get close. They wanted you to perceive them from this phony place, and now they're rejecting it. Telepathic bond, and this is what I was saying with the soulmate, like relationship, that it makes us change. So it doesn't mean that this person wanted to change. They were trying to control it. They don't want to control it. Who wants to look at like how they are? But it doesn't mean anything because there's still this strong spiritual connection. So what this is saying is there's a lot of wounds that this person that you're connected to has. Well, I believe you had a lot of the same wounds that they have. And that could be in love, unconditional love, trust, intimacy. And so when we have a telepathic bond, it's one that there is a lot of passion, there is a lot of emotion, there is, and we do learn unconditional love, especially when we're triggered and the person didn't treat us right, and now the person needs to come back and they need to humble themselves and they know that they have to do that, but they don't feel comfortable doing that because they have to work through the wound. They have to go through the wound. The wound first, it was again the dark night of the soul. Here I am, I'm looking at the wound. And I'm looking at and seeing how I contributed to those things in my life. The good thing is they actually feel that they can repair it with you because of this telepathic bond. And remember, this is healing. I'm done playing games. So what they know is that there is love. They want to feel this way again. However, again, they needed to kind of destroy the relationship in order to and avoid the relationship to see whether they really wanted this. And what they see is that they couldn't let it go, that they wanted to let it go. Now, where they are now is, again, they're in this victim state. So there's a lot of different emotions going on right now because remember, the victim state is, oh, you got to look and see responsibility. And a lot of times you don't want to take responsibility. You want to blame someone else. Now, wouldn't it have been easier for you just to give in to them? But you didn't do that. You had compassion. There's empathy. There's still this telepathic bond there, but there's almost like tough love. But there's still love on your part, even though the person acted cruel. And so that brought them to a place of, like I said, wanting things to be different, looking at how they treated you, trying to avoid it, but then seeing that they still wanted to feel that way again and being stuck in the conversations, seeing now that you were just really honoring yourself, respecting yourself. So actually seeing the difference between you and other people that, have been around them that don't care what they get. So that's important to know. I wish you were here with me. I feel you. That's still that telepathic bond. So what they saw is that even though you guys didn't talk and they kind of made a mess of things, that they still feel that connection. And so do you. And that shows us that unconditional love, we can't control it. That you can't manipulate it, you can't destroy it. It's still there. That's a very important lesson, especially if we grew up in an environment that we didn't feel love, especially if we have gone through many different relationships and have been shown that, we don't get good results, that maybe we think that we're not lovable, right? To still feel that person, it's healing. There's a comfort there. Our story isn't over yet. So they can feel, because there's still this connection, there's still that desire to pursue it. They feel that the relationship is something of importance because they've never felt a relationship to this capacity. I feel like again they would usually surface only cared about themselves, right? If we're in dark night of the soul because that we again only tend to care about ourselves. Well, this person didn't just do it within work and within other areas, they did it within every single relationship. So they didn't get good results. But then here you are, they didn't really give you, but there was this connection, and they can still feel you. They can still, like, again, feel that that connection isn't broken, even after everything that they did, which is actually making them want to pursue it, wanting to fix it. I want to work things out and really wanting to work things out, which is what I felt. So what advice does the universe have? Because really, this really shows that all it was you met this person. They were in player mode. They gave surface. They wanted you to perceive them from the mask. They were cruel because again they knew that you were genuine. Didn't have a problem taking your energy from you, knowing that they weren't going to. They were selfish in every area of their life. They're in the dark night of the soul. They're playing the victim a little bit, but they want to feel that way again. Again, the way that they wouldn't know that they did unless there was a separation. They replay the conversation over and over in their head. They try to escape, bury themselves in work, and they want things to be different. And now they want to work things out. Like I said, they you can see the process, right? Which is what happens when we're in a dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is first the awareness of how you created those undesired, how you got to that place. What happens is you look around at your life and you don't like what you like. I mean, you don't like your life. That's what it is. So your person had to go through the awareness. I don't like my life. Second of all, they need to take responsibility of their life. That didn't happen. They went into victim mode, which is again wanting to blame, had a lot of different emotions, tried to escape it, tried to bury themselves in work, but they couldn't escape it because they still felt your connection, your ESP connection. They still felt the love, even though they didn't treat you well. It's again, even though they didn't value the relationship, I should say. They didn't value the relationship when they had it, but they had to destroy the relationship to understand that, wait a minute, I want to feel that way again. I replay our conversations. I miss our conversations. I wish things could be different. I wish I didn't do that. I tried to escape it. And then the realization. And the realization is like, if I don't do anything, you're going to leave me behind. I can feel that. But there's still a telepathic bond. And it's like, well, we will be together again because it's like I can't get over it. So we can see again how this person, your person, works through the situation, which is a big deal. But they had to destroy the relationship. They had to go through a dark night of the soul. There needed to be the awareness. And really, that's how you. So if you don't feel your person around you, it's they're not you're not center stage because they're working through what they need to heal because you are not the only thing. You are like the cherry on top, but at least they perceive that they can fix it a little bit with you, that it's workable, it's doable, and possibly because of that ESP connection, they know that you're a soulmate. And the advice is take time to breathe out. So it's again, relationships, I think, trigger you both. Um, when we breathe out, we're actually resetting our nervous system. So when you're in a relationship with someone that you don't trust, or maybe you just don't trust yourself, you're not confident. You need to be in the moment. You need to be in the now. You need not to react. Again, the person didn't treat you nice. You may by accident try to look for it to prevent it. We see what we look for. I mean, that's what happens when we're around people that we don't trust that's around. That's what happens when we have trauma. When we have trauma, we unconsciously try to, place barriers to protect ourselves. We unconsciously put, create these barriers. Like I said, see what we look for. So if you breathe out, it helps you get back in the moment. It helps you reset your nervous system. If you notice, like when you're in fight, flight, freeze, you're not breathing. You're like, my God, oh my God, where is the trauma? Where is it? Are they cheating? What are they going to do? It's like, again, you're not breathing. People are stiff, stressed, and not breathing. But when you take a deep breath, you reset your nervous system, you get back into the moment, you can ask yourself, is that really what's happening? Or maybe did the person again get caught up in work and that's why they didn't call you? Or maybe are they not going to say anything? Or maybe do I need to give them a little time? Do I feel that they're not? Relationships are intuitive too. And what happens is if we're in fight, flight, or freeze, we're not in intuitive mode. We're in survival mode. We're looking for a problem. We're looking to fix something, which a lot of times we don't even know if there is anything need to be fixed. So when we're not breathing, we're actually coming from the past, not the moment. So we can actually see, well, if you want this relationship to work, you have to balance it out. What is the wound? Well, the wound is, this person didn't really know what they wanted. They didn't really like who they were. They were discovering what that was. You gave and they kind of hurt you. They treated you bad. They treated everyone bad. They're paying their karma now. But in order for you to break the karmic cycle and this person to break the karmic cycle, for it not to be a trauma bond, you have to learn. And that's to be in the moment, to be in the now, to be in the present moment, to have the intention that the relationship will work and to, like I said, come from the moment. It's time to take action and also for your person to, try. It's again, if they once they're out of the dark night of the soul, they have to do. They didn't want to give anything. So in order for this relationship to work out, the universe says, take time to breathe. Don't come from your past. Be in the moment. Even though this person didn't treat you nice, they're coming back. They want to be different. You still have feelings for them. So obviously you should give them a chance, but you have trust issues. Well, trust comes from being in the moment and trusting yourself, not trusting the other person. However, if you're coming from the past all the time and you don't give this person a chance, it's not, obviously it can't go anywhere. So you have to actually give them a chance by again being in the moment, but then your person needs to take the action. They need to show you. They need to give you what they didn't give you in order to balance out that energy. Now, are they going to do it? Let's see. Um, let's see. Joker card. Well, I feel like for some, yes, and for some, no. To be honest with you, but the truth of the matter is, I feel like the answer to that is, in actuality, is they'll do it, but will they do it the way that you like? Most likely not. Because remember, this person doesn't think the way that you think. They don't handle situations the way that you do. They have wounding. They're not coming from their true self, their higher self. So, like, you have to have compassion. You have to, have the empathy for them, the sensitivity for them, and to say, well, if this relationship is really that important to you, I want to tell you how I feel. So it's again, I would say they want to tell you how they feel. They want to make it work. And that's what it says. Do you? I feel like you need to tell them how you feel and express yourself and then see them do something different. And but you inevitably have to give it the chance. And this is a general message. So some people, some of you will, and some of them not. I feel a majority of you guys will though, because there's still that spiritual bond in spite of all of it. And that's what I'm trying to say. The whole point of this is for healing, that no matter what it looks like, two people can go through a lot and even treat each other badly, but there's still this unconditional love. And that is the takeaway from this. It's like you couldn't destroy it. They couldn't destroy it. They don't love themselves. That's why they had the facade. That's why they're in a dark night of the soul, because they, again, were so selfish. They didn't trust anyone. That means they need healing. You didn't give. Again, so you learn the karmic lesson because the old you would have tried to fix it. You didn't do that. However, you both like learning what you need and what you want, and then seeing in the end that you most likely will get what you want, but not the way that you wanted it. And you will still care about this person because there is still an ESP connection. It's all over this. It's a telepathic bond, empathy, spiritual connection. So it means that that's a divine connection, one that spirit brought into your life for the purpose of healing, growth, evolution, and what better way to grow us and expand consciousness to see what unconditional love really is. It doesn't mean that it's easy love, and it doesn't mean that everything is perfect, because clearly it wasn't here, but it's the catalyst for both of you to heal. I'm going to leave it there. Now, if you resonated, please give this video a like. And like I said, if you want to win that free reading with me, just go back to the beginning of the video and you can see what the magic word is, because I forgot it already. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.